Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cobb from TRADERCOBB.com, and this is a live scan with partnership with FTX. Now, of course, we will be doing these continually for the next, well, as long as I can think of. And if you want to get 10% off of your trading fees with FTX, please click on the description below and you will find a link there. Now that link will take you to open up an FTX account for which you can then get 10% off your trading fees. It also helps us to continue to provide and promote content out for free to you people, you wonderful, wonderful people out there. Now, as always, I will ask you please to like, share and subscribe, turn on your notifications. But the most important thing really is to share. If you like this content, please do share it around. We do this lots and lots of times. Now it's free, that's for you, and it's to help you become a better trader. If you would like to know more about what I do and how I do it and understand a little bit more about the information that I go through and how I screen markets, how I scan markets and what I specifically look for, then you can visit TRADERCOBB.com and join up to our Become a Trader course. That course is absolutely free for you. There's about 3.5 hours of great content in there to learn about market structures, where to get in, where to get out, and the sort of things that you're going to need to make proper sense of this content that myself and my team continue to bring you. So welcome. Welcome to, dare I say it, a sunny Friday. The rain has stopped here in eastern Sydney, thank goodness. My heart goes out to all of those that are in difficult parts of the country being affected by this horrendous natural disaster of the floods. I really hope that you are able to be nice, dig deep and help if you are in those regions to get out there and clean up that mess. I really feel for a lot of the people in the Northern Rivers District as well as Southeast Queensland, and to be fair, anywhere that is affected by floods. Please be safe, kind and look after your community. Okay, g'day Winston, Dan, Big Keith, I'm back. I wasn't around last week, unfortunately. I was knocked down by a very serious strep throat, which I'd never heard of before, but in hospital this time last week. I was okay, I am fine, and as you can hear, my voice is back. I am back. I can have that enthusiastic viewpoint in my mind, but also portray it through my voice. Bloody hell, it feels very, very nice, I will tell you that. Okay, so let's start off by having a look at our top 10, and I've got the 8 hour up here at the moment because, well, if you look at the 4, we've gone deeper than what the 4 allows. So, it is not really worthwhile looking at the 4 at the moment. And there was a lot of opportunities today on the FTX trading pairs, on the perpetual contracts, the futures that is, on the 8 hour, except that they all fell and really just messed up the options. Bloody market had all these great cradles setting up and none of them bloody well worked. Anyway, we are back and we're going to see what we have got. First things first, I want to do a deep dive into the big dog Bitcoin. Right on. Okay, so I follow trends, I trade trends, and I use market structure to help me to define where I'm going to be entering, exiting, and how I'm going to play the market. And right now we have a higher low on Bitcoin and a higher high. What significance does this have for a crypto trader like me, I hear you ask? Well, bottom line is, not a great deal. Yes, the daily is in an uptrend, but what I want to do right now is I want to flip out to the weekly. Because if we recall, on Monday, we had, well, we had this big dog, 14.5%. A monstrosity of a move. One in the right direction too, I will add. A very strong day, not just for Bitcoin, but across the crypto markets in general. Now, we saw a following day of about 2.9%. We had at one stage got to about 4%. And the last 3 days, as you can see, have been streaming something off. Now, back to my weekly. The weekly chart, why is it so important to me at the moment? Well, at the moment, we do not have a good trend. We have a little slight lower high here to a lower low. It's not the clearest though. This I would call a clear pullback. This I would call a clear higher low. But before we can get excited about the higher low, we first need to have the trend be confirmed by a higher high. Now, a higher high would be coming up and breaking through the high of that candle. Let's call it 46,000. We get above 46,000. That's the first hurdle. That would get us a weekly uptrend to go with our, ta-da, daily uptrend. So the weekly, yes, whilst it's not doing a great deal right now, it is still up nearly 10%. I hope to see this weekly candle close much, much higher than where it currently is. For that to occur, this pullback that we're seeing here, well, needs to stop. It needs to stop. And the question I've been asking myself is, are we going to see sub 40 or above 46 first? Well, let's have a look at some of those probabilities and dig deeper. First and foremost, we've got our 41,000 or thereabouts level that we can see through here. This level does still hold some form of significance, and I'll show you why. Resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3, boom, up we go. We found support, we raced off to all-time highs. We came back down, we tested it, we bounced and broke. We came back through, and since then, it hasn't done a great deal to hold anything. However, it is around number 41,000, and it has been acting as support and resistance, sorry, more support than resistance, I should say. Support through here, resistance over here. So yeah, support and resistance. I got it right the first time. Yeah, I am feeling better, Jeff. Thanks, mate. So what I want to see really is I want to see Bitcoin move from here, this being a pullback with a very clear higher low. I'd love to see it come back and then go start to move higher. That's what I'm after. That's what I hope for. That's what I want. But none of those things actually matter because the market will do whatever the market wants to do, and I will be there to take advantage of the moves no matter what they are because I'm a trader. I can go long, I can go short, and so can you trading perpetual contracts. Okay? So looking at it now, I mean, overwhelmingly on the daily, we've got the higher low and the higher high. My major concern really is the majority of that move, or nearly all of it, occurred over one singular day. One day does not fill my stocking. Okay, one day is the mango in the bottom that gives it all the weight that makes your parents not have to fill it quite so much with lollies because it takes up the whole foot area. What I want are the lollies. I want to see it move higher. We don't have that just yet. What I want is for it to move higher for two reasons. One, we get higher price Bitcoin. That's obviously going to be a good thing. Two, it gives us a very clear higher low here, in which case, if we can push to a higher high through this point here, we can have a second cycle of that trend and a much clearer pullback than this one, a much more sustained pullback and a much better push to the upside with a bit more carry through, which is what I'm really after. As you can see over here, we failed to do it last time. We saw a higher low, which was a higher low, but again, a couple of candles like it is here. We saw a very clean pullback, a lovely pullback, in fact, a bullish candle. We started to push higher, and then we failed, and that ended up being a lower high. I don't want to see this. We had a, close, close, close. No cigar. Over here, I want to see us get the cigar, so to speak. Don't smoke cigars. Bad for you. So there you go. That's what I'm hoping to see. As it stands, I mean, numbers-wise, it would make much more sense to suggest that we may be sub 40,000 before above 46, just simply because the price is currently at 41,300, and there's a hell of a lot more work it needs to do to get back up through 46,000 to get us back above that other threshold of 46k. So it does seem more likely that we would break down through 40,000 at the moment, more likely than going up through 46, based purely on the size of moves that need to occur. However, we have, as I say, a higher low. We have a very clear pullback. We are in the cradle zone. We do have an old level of support that has acted, resistance and support that has acted as support several times in the past. So by looking at the charts, it throws it up. If I get a small bullish candle here tomorrow and that breaks to the upside, then I would suggest that perhaps we may actually get that move up. But at the moment, and this is what I get a lot of, I get a lot of people saying, oh yeah, sure, it could go up, it could go down, blah, blah, blah. Great analysis. Thanks for that, Craig. Well, the bottom line is, guys, sometimes, you might want me to give you some sort of crystal ball. Sometimes there is a much higher probability of me getting that crystal ball correct. At this stage, the probabilities of me calling something, which I don't tend to do unless I'm trading it, I don't try and pick tops and bottoms, that sort of thing. I just trade what I see. I take the chunk in the middle. But at the moment, I need a little bit more information, a little bit more data. I'm just so hopeful that we do get a bounce from here and get up through 46, because that will establish our daily trend a lot better, and once again establish that weekly trend as being up. The last thing I want to look at on Bitcoin for now is the monthly. This monthly candle ended up closing bullish by 12%. And that all occurred thanks to that big Monday candle. It makes the monthly look a hell of a lot more bullish than what it was leading up to essentially the last day of February. If we can break the high of that candle, well, guess what? We've also broken 46,000. We've got a bullish candle in the cradle zone. We will have a monthly breaking the high of a monthly cradle candle. We will have the weekly then in an uptrend, and the daily in its second phase of its own uptrend. Those three things combined, should they happen, would put me back into a much more bullish position for Bitcoin leading into the back end of this quarter. And hopefully Q2 of this year could be an absolute belter. So there you go. A lot of talk, and the overlying message, or the underlying message here, is that we don't have enough clarity at this point. We still are waiting to see what Bitcoin does, and I'm patiently waiting. Let's have a look if there's any trading opportunities from now. Having a look here at Bitcoin with the higher low and higher high on the 8 hour, this was setting up to potentially be an opportunity. However, it has now broken the lows. So as it stands right now on Bitcoin, I'm not interested at all in anything to the upside for the time being. With us being around or so close to that 41,000 mark, I'm also not really looking for anything to the short side. I'm going to make a list that's going to be blue here. So let us now go to our perp list. And please, excuse me, any questions that you may have as I go through this scan, please just pop them up in the question section. I'm more than happy to answer them. If there are any contracts that may have been added to FTX recently that I do not have, please do shout them out, and I shall add those to our list because I haven't gone through and done an update in a little while. Right, 1 inch. Here's the thing. There's a little bit of a concerning factor this morning for me. There's a lot of 2-day cradle bearish candles, right? We've got this lower high, lower low. Now, of course, I wouldn't be looking to trade this as a cradle as one of my trading strategies because it's divergent. So that rules that out in that sense for 1 inch. Again, we've got a higher low and a higher high, but it's not done much since there. Not a very good uptrend, not really anything to work with there, nor we do not have a great uptrend. We do not have a great downtrend on our 8 hour. FTX has a Lunar wallet now. I did see that. Very recent occurrence, and well done to FTX. Sorry about that. Licorice tea keeps the old throat box in order. Okay, I'm looking for AVE, and look, here's the first thing I look for, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking for clear chart structure. I'm looking for trend. Trend is defined by in an uptrend, higher lows and higher highs, and in a downtrend, lower highs and lower lows. That's the kicker. That's what I'm looking for first and foremost. Whether I'm looking at I'll chuck the 4 hour up there, or I'm looking at the daily, I am always looking for trend. And if I don't find trend, I will skippity-doo-dah, skippity-day, onto the next chart. Okie dokie. Okay, so we had ourselves a bit of an issue at $1 on Cardano. Now, let's just go back and have a look at the history of $1 on Cardano. Very, very strong support level. In fact, you could have 3x'd it from the last pullback to roughly that level. Not exactly, but close. We have had our first test from the underside of $1, and we have so far rejected it quite bloody convincingly. If you look here, unfortunately for me, this was a great bearish candle, but the stop would have needed to be up here, which would have made that a big candle. Now, I don't have the joy of hindsight that that might not end up looking too big if we do fall down to, say, 20 cents. But it was too big for me to be trading. It has rejected that $1. It has not created itself a daily downtrend again, as we have a higher low here and a higher high. But it does overwhelmingly, at the moment, look like the sellers are in control of Cardano. We do have a lower high and a lower low there. We're looking at the 1 hour. Anything else there that's really of interest? So I'm just thinking. Look, for me to be open to shorting, if it was to pull back like this, I would want to see it move a little bit further. I don't want to short it from here in the cradle. I'd like to see it run a bit further. So for that reason, I'm going to take out this old dog in Cardano and move to ALCX, which has come off quite significantly. Good day, LA Mythwitch. Good day indeed. Too big a candle there, 17% too big for this fella. Alchemix, I'm going to move away. I'm looking for, we'll just quickly check the 1. No, it's not quite got the cyclicity that I'm after, the nice flowing smooth market condition that I would like to see. And don't forget, I am totally up for going long or short. I've got no confirmation bias, no bias towards either direction. I'm not a perma bull. I'm a long-term bull for my investments, but when it comes to my trading, it's about what's happening, where the momentum is, where the movement is each day. I'm going to go past algo onto alpha. Let's have a quick sticky beak at the 1 here, as it's just legged down quite nicely. And this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. Lower high, lower low in bearish candle. That's a cradle trade right there. Good convergence. Boom, and there's your 4 to 1. That's as simple as that when it comes to trading, and that is as simple as that strategy right there. As it stands right now, As it stands right now, jump to the 30. Look, I'm going to throw it in because I don't want to spend too much time on it. And I'll come back and clear out anything that I don't like the look of at the end because it is starting to sell off a bit more across the board here. We've got Bitcoin down 2.5%, so it's come off a little bit since we started. If we do see the continuation of that selling occur on Alpha and across the market, then perhaps the 1 hour may be a pullback opportunity for later on. Alt Perp, I can leave that for the time being. Ampleforth has had a swift decline over the last few 4-hour candles, caught the last 24 hours. As you can see there, down nearly 10%. I'll move past that. Not a good enough trend. Arweave, let's look at that 8. What have we? What about the... Let's check that daily. Why am I checking the daily? Higher low, higher high, pullback, bullish candle in the cradle. If the daily... can anybody tell me why I don't like the 12-hour now? Why this does not come up to me as a potential trade? Can anyone tell me in the comments there why I might leave this now? If you've got your checklist, you should know this. I know it's slightly delayed. Someone's going to say it. Come on. Show me what you know. So we've got a higher low, a higher high, pullback with a bullish candle right there. Not too big. The issue that I've got when it comes to the daily, there's a little pullback. It's not the cleanest pullback, really. It's not the cleanest, but let's just say that that's not the issue. The major issue that I can see is the moving averages on my second time frame. So if I go from 12 hour, the multiple of 2 would make that 24, which makes it a day. One of the major rules in the essential, one of the essential rules, sorry, is that we need to have both moving averages in the correct order here on the next higher time frame. And whilst the 12-hour does look quite tasty, the daily does not match up to allow that trade to be taken. So let's go. Oh, I might just go lower and see if there's the levels there starting to form. It's not really what I'm after there. Not really what I'm after. Atom, okay, moving higher. It's come off a bit, but it's been bouncing higher. That 4-hour trend is there. Higher, low, high. Oh, sorry, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. It's just not. Look at the highs from this high to this high. Very small. Excuse me. From this side to this high. Very small again. It is not pushing hard enough to the upside when it does move upside. The cyclicity is not there. I'm leaving it alone. No, nothing there either. The reason being is we just don't have a good enough trend through here and we're divergent on the 2-day. So I'll be leaving Audius, AVAX. Look, it had a great pullback yesterday. In and around here, it was looking quite tasty. However, it did continue to decline. And with that decline, so too has my interest. All right. So we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, but it's getting a bit volatility, volatile-ish around here. A little bit now, a little bit, hey, how you doing? It's all of those things, and there's no level, and that, for me, is enough reasons to move on. You've got to remember the one I trade, what I do is I'm looking for reasons not to take a trade. The whole purpose of having 3 checklist strategies that are literally essential factors and bonus factors that you tick off is straightforward. The elimination process is making sure that if there's anything that I miss out, if there's anything in the essentials that do not present on the chart, I just don't take it. I'm looking for reasons not to take a trade. Why? Because the easier it is to get something right, the harder it is to get something wrong. And this bloke is thick as 2 bricks stuck together when it comes to lots and lots and lots of things. What I can do is be disciplined. What I can do is follow my rules. And what that does is, in turn, keeps me profitable. So, Axie this morning looked really, 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 really nice on that candle right there. Check out the 16 too. What a little beauty, you know. However, it broke those lows, which means order cancelled, which means out of my watch list. Goodbye, Axie. Quick dip lower shows that there was a little bearish candle there. However, no downtrend that really stands out to me. Moving right along. Please ask questions if you have any. Like, share, subscribe. Do all those things. Thank you very much. Mwah. Nothing on Badger. Balancer. Dipping. Dippy doo-doos. I'm going to pop that in. Why? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. A pullback, perhaps later on in the afternoon, may present a little cradle. Hillary who, Dragon? Hillary who? I don't know a Hillary. Band's very caught up, very sideways, very undecided. For those reasons, the undecidedness of band means out the door. Bayo, I don't want to be trading something that does this at the moment. You know, down 40%, up 130%, down 31%, up 30%. Like, that's not what I'm after. Okay, this volatility, it ain't the answer for me. It causes slippage, which increases my risk, which decreases my probability. I don't want those things. I want predictable markets, and this is why I focus so much on trend and so much on cyclicity. Bat's going to go in because that could be good on that 1 hour later. As I go through this, I am noting that the 1 hour does appear to be a time frame of which we need to keep a close eye on throughout the afternoon session. Nothing here on Binance on that 4. The 8, it's not a bad spot. It's just got a lot of work to do. The 16 could be all right there. It's not going to make the list because it's got a lot of work to do before it would get there. Banker was another one that I put up there on my live trading floor scan this morning, which is what I do with my clients that have done the course. Beautiful little bullish candle there. Of course, it didn't break through the upside, so therefore the trigger candle was not triggered. It broke the stop loss first, which means I just have to cancel the order. And there we go. It's out of my watch list. As of right now, what do we got? Nothing. When have we got it? Now. Not enough there. I can see better options elsewhere. BSV, too messy for me. Cake. And here's the thing, right? With the overwhelming higher timeframes like this being, essentially having more downward pressure than upward pressure, what I'm essentially doing is, because we've pulled back into the cradle zone on many of these charts, right? Back in. I know it's not been all that clean. What we've got is a pullback into that cradle zone, and we've been coming off. What I'm, essentially trying to do here is snatch a little 1 hour cradle or a 1 hour trade. Now, whether or not you know what the Fibonacci booster is or the Bitcoin breakout trade, these are the 2 other strategies taught within the course. I'm looking for shorts on the lower time frames right now to try and see if I can't snaffle a little intraday entry, which ends up being still risking the same 1%, but you get a larger position contract-wise. Therefore, if you're capturing an entry on the lower time frames, like the 1 hour, for example, but you're entering a bigger picture trend, perhaps the daily, then that is where the monies, the big monies comes from. That's the logic behind doing that. Chilies, more chili. Big candle there on that 8, ruled it out for me this morning. There's nothing there at the moment. It's holding its ground fairly well at this stage. Nothing more to speak of. Compound, no. We've got to stretch a bit further. Keep in mind as well, ladies and gentlemen, if we do continue to see deeper selling throughout the session, a lot more of these charts like this, compound, which doesn't quite make it for me just yet, it may start to open its doors up for me to trade throughout the session. Second to that, if we do see a bit of a bounce, that will in turn bring a number of our opportunity trends back into that cradle zone, for which I can then start to get ready and lining up my trades, probably later this afternoon into the early evening. And if we start to see cascading selling, where it just goes hard, well, then I'll be straight to the 15-minute and I'll be looking to trade my booster strategy, because that's what it's there for. Nothing on convergence. Nothing on cream. Crow. That's what a crow does. Bullish candle in the cradle, broke the lows. Not in my list anymore. See what I mean? We had a heap of good 8 hours, but none of which actually gave me the go-ahead. See, I don't make decisions for my trades. My trades make decisions for me. The market tells me what I should and shouldn't do. CRV bullish candle right there, but there ain't nothing to play with, I'm afraid. On to the next one, Dash. Dash, again, look at this messiness. This sideways chop does not give me good trading conditions. I want to see it stream away, either down or up, but I want to see trend, and I don't right now. Dawn has a spiky nature with very little trend going on here of any cyclicity and consistency. It's a pass for me. DeFi, another we can throw on that 8 hour list. Look at this. It wasn't a nice trend. The first pullback in a new uptrend, i.e. higher low, higher high, first pullback here, which is tradable, ultimately failed. It didn't trigger, but it broke lower, and therefore DeFi now comes out of my morning list. It does very much look like this is going to be a list of the lower time frames today, which doesn't bother me. Just got to trade what's there, really. And if there's nothing there, you just don't trade at all. Dent, sideways, mess, sloppy. Dodo, rolling over. Yeah, all right, that goes in the mix. If it pulls back up into the cradle zone, I got something to work with, so I want to be aware of that. Part of what I do when I do my watch list, or a major part of what it is about finding trends that might be workable later on. All right, that is what the game is about, and that is what I am doing. Not quite enough there on the old Doge. Dot starting to stream off, 3.8% down. Let's see what we've got here on the one. Okay. My major concern is here. We've got a high, a low, high. Then we go to a low. Is that a pullback? Very minimal. Not clear enough for me on Z1. No, look, I'm not just here to throw a bunch of things in a list and hope. I'm here to try and find good options. And if they don't cut the mustard, they ain't going in. Not enough there on Dragon, Elron. It's got not enough there on that 4 hour. I like to have the 4 hour trend, all right? If I'm going to be trading the lowers, the 4 hour becomes my go-to time frame. Engine looks pretty decent there. Oh, let me just double check that 4 again. Oh, look. I don't really have a 4 hour downtrend that's convincing. Oh, look, I'll come back to that. EOS. See, ultimately that's what I want, but I wouldn't have taken that. Why? Higher, low, high, then low, lower, high. That is not a downtrend. Right now, first thing I've got to do is check what that level is. Boof. That's a heck of a level. Ain't no doubt about it. And look, if I got a cradle up in here, I don't want to be shorting before that level. So I shall go past. Ethereum Classic. Messy, nothing of interest there. Ethereum. Ooh. Look out, daddy. Look at that. Right, we got a lower high, lower low. If that pulls back up and gives me a cradle somewhere in around the lows here, something like that, that would be something for sure that I would be very interested in. Exchange token, I can leave that. There's not enough cyclicity there for me. I'm going to take it out of my other list too because it was in this morning. Obonfida had a big day and pulled all the way back. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that on any time frame. I don't like these massive spikes, even though there is a trend there. It's not really my kettle of fish. Okay, file. There is a lower high, there is a lower low. That gives me impotence to go lower to the 1 hour. A little bit of a wonky trend, but again, there is a downtrend with convergence. I'll throw it on in. Let me keep moving. And I'll come back through all of these at the end too, by the way. Not enough cyclicity there on Flamingo for me to really warrant going lower. Not enough trend there on Flow. You'll see there will be on the 1 hour. Look, lovely. However, I do like to have that 4 hour also trending, so I'm going to rule that out. Phantom. Let's have a look at that on the 2. No. Why? That's the shorting candle there. It's too big. Okay. Not enough momentum to the downside there yet. FTT, it's a shame. Another one that was on the 8. Look, it was there. Boom, 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 boom. Needs to come out. It's really struggling with this sort of between sort of 47.30 to 48 bucks. It's having a real hard time. Look, that was the support through here, and look at how much resistance that has been. I am hopeful that FTT, as it does look very similar to Bitcoin in the sense that we've had one pullback, a big day, and then another pullback here. I'm hopeful that it does what Bitcoin does. Let's hope Bitcoin does it and pushes through that $48 barrier and allows FTT, the token, to really show us what it can do. GRT, not enough cyclicity on that 4. Same with Hedera. Helium does have a lower high. It's not a very clear chart, though, not being represented well on the daily or the 4. Holy is rolling over. I'll have a look at that on the 1 as it has legged down quite nicely. We do have a downtrend there. The 4 hour, I don't love the 4 hour hair. I'm going to leave it for now. Lower high here on Holo, and we will have a nice looking trend there, I'm sure, on the 1 hour. Excuse me, we do. If you haven't had licorice tea before, you haven't lived. Gangster on the licorice tea on a Friday afternoon. Yep, that is what life is for me now. A good mix of health and happiness. Okay, Holo. Might just have a look at this a little bit bigger. This is the bit that I don't like as much. You know, it's gone, okay, up, okay, low, okay, back, okay, down. It's a little bit too Raggedy Ann, you know, like I talk about cyclicity. I want clean, clear, trending charts. That doesn't cut the mustard on the old H-Dog. Horby, sideways. Hump has gone down, but without the greatest of trends, and it can be quite thinly traded, so one for me to be leaving. I do like to trade the more liquid markets whenever I can. Rolling over there on IOTA, I'm going to refrain from putting that in because the 4 hour is not looking all that great, and we do have other options. Carver, I can leave. Kin is just a bit messy at the moment. Kyber, what a great couple of weeks Kyber's had, huh? There's nothing to work with at this stage. Yeah, there's a bullish candle, but again, that I wanted it to be here, a nice clean pullback here. I don't have that. Kusama rolling over with a messy start, so I'll be leaving that. Linear, lower high here. That's cool. Let's go to the one. I'm going to put it in because there is a trend there. All right. Ticks the first of the boxes. Link. Not really that interested in Link. Got to be honest, it does not have the cyclicity that I'm after. Many of these downtrends or many of these lower time, like many of this move down has only just sort of happened in the last couple of days. So we're struggling with having that great cyclicity. We've seen the market pull back quite sharply, as you can see here on all of these dailies. Look, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, they've pulled back. Not a massive pullback, but they've pulled back. But it's just not done it like with cyclicity like this, like in, away, in, away. It's just kind of, a lot of these are just ground down. I want cyclicity. I want to have a little bit more functioning in the trend for me to feel comfortable and confident to take it. Ooh. Loon is up around all-time highs. Not far to go to Hundy. Struggled last time. Can we break through? And do we have an opportunity? Yeah, there's a bullish candle there. It's bloody big though, mate. Too big. I'm not going to be able to do anything with that at this stage. Maps coming off. Lower high. We're rolling over. Let's have a look at the one. All right. Look. There's a bit of a level through there, right? That's what I'm sort of focusing on to see. Okay, it's not exact, but something around that 74.6 region. Okay, Paul. A pullback into there would be of interest. The problem I've got is this. I'm looking at this as being a little pullback. But it's look, for me to have to go, okay, what's the high? It's 75.95, 75.96. So it's just made a high. Again, coming back to the whole clarity thing, I want a clear trend. I don't really see that here in maps, and I'm afraid because of that, I'm going to skip on. Matic, no 4 hour downtrend, no play. Mid cap still very slow. Again, a very slow grind. I'm not after that. I'm after some good, sharp moves. Maker still holding its ground, very sideways, no interest. Met her at a bar, took her home to meet my grandmother. My grandmother liked her, and then she had tea. Met her at tea cozy and pet the dog. That's what Meta is to me. Don't know why. I'm a weirdo. But I'm having fun again. I'm doing my job. I'm having fun. I'm doing the markets. And I haven't got a sore throat. So, boop, boop. Additional enthusiasm from me today. And if you like it, hey, share it with your mates. Metal ain't so good right now. Not so rock and roll. See what I did there? Prime dad joke. All right, I'm going to bring up, on the topic of dad jokes. Who can drink a litre of petrol without getting sick? There you go, dad joke. I'm going to put that forward to the comments. Who can drink a litre of petrol without getting sick? If you're in my community already, please don't bring up the answer because you've already heard this joke. Who can drink a litre of petrol and not get sick? I'll keep going while you mull over on that one. Near, higher low, beautiful, higher high, nice. A bit messy through here. Let's go higher. That's going in my list. Oh, bugger. I just noticed it hasn't crossed over here just yet. Do I have a clear trend? There's a one candle pullback. Yes, no, I can't. See, there you go. That's what rules are for. Up here, I looked at it and went, oh, yay. Then I went to the next high time frame, being a multiple of 2, which means 12 to 24. And we don't have all the rules that need to be met for me to even put that in a watch list, so I can't do near. The answer to who can drink a litre of petrol and not get sick is Jerry can. Get it? Get it? Get it? Jerry can? Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'll pass the hat round shortly. Let's go to the 8 here on. Jeez. I know you're not meant to laugh at your own jokes, but shit. It's just a bit of fun. Why can't we just enjoy what we do? There you go. All the dads giving me the good thumbs up, the smiles, the laughs. That one's for you. All right, Neo. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, actually, we're making sounds. God, I'm such a dick. Happy dick. Neo. Higher low, higher high, pulling back. Does open the door, really, for a little weird little cradle in there. It's a long way from Hollywood, though. You know, like if it's a closed down, I mean, we still got 8 hours to go for one. So let's be realistic here. If I'm going to take Neo, it's going to be tomorrow. That's it. It's going to be tomorrow. I'm not going to put it in the list for that reason. It's just got such a lot to burn before we get there. Okay, B. Look, it's up, and that's rare, but there ain't nothing to work with for me right now. Coming off, no 4-hour trend on OMG. Ontology, still a bit of a mess. A major mess, to be fair. A bloody horrific mess. A mess like not seen before mess. I'm moving on. Orbs, too thin for me at the moment. Oxygen. We all need it. Ooh, okay, so whilst I'm on this, when I talk about optimal chart structure, a lot of the stuff that I teach, it's not just about finding the trade, it's about understanding what you're seeing. And whilst I've got a chart that looks like this, I think it's a very good time to jump into a bit of an explanation as to how you can avoid slippage more frequently. Slippage is when you raise your orders and you get taken out. Let's say it's a stop market. So you're going long, you've got a sell stop in and you want stop market. Boom, it goes through, but you don't get filled at the price that you wanted. You get filled quite significantly below and you go, geez, that instead of being a 1% risk, I just lost 1.5%, which is not ideal, is it? It's not. We don't want that. So how can we work out ways to avoid that more frequently? Well, we learn how to read a chart. And what I'm telling you right now is when I look at OxyPerp here, see these little things here? That's telling me nothing really happened. Now, I'm not saying no trades happened at that price. I'm just saying that when you look at a chart like this and it's wiki and it's got these funky little spotty dotty things, that means over half an hour, nothing happened with price. For a full half hour there, 4:30 yesterday afternoon. That suggests to me that this may have some liquidity issues at the moment, as you can see through here. With liquidity issues like this, and it's not always going to be like this for Oxygen, it goes through periods of volatility and whatnot, like everything else does. But if I've got illiquidity like this, I am, dancing with the devil. Because if I'm going, especially if you have a larger account, because you might take you so much more to get filled. And that's what we also see when we see these massive spikes in markets. If that market is thin and someone's got a fat finger and just hit a market buy, you'll see this massive spike of price going up and then it comes straight back down. Well, they've just basically shot themselves in the foot because they've climbed all the way up the market, all the way up the ladder of orders, taken them all out to fill their size, and then the market comes back to the next price. Boom. So be aware of that. If you see a chart that's all spotty-dotty like this and you're thinking of taking a trade, please be aware that that is a low liquidity project and therefore you are carrying significantly more risk, and to be aware of it. See, it's little things like this. Little things like this. Everyone thinks that a trading course is going to just, oh, where's the magic numbers? Where's the magic strategy? Yeah, there's strategy. But you've got to learn about all the other little tiny things. There's 1,000 things that traders need to understand. Doesn't mean you have to use them all the time. It's like being a carpenter. You've got a bloody tray full of, 300 tools for which, there's probably 10 of them you use every day. But there's a heap that you won't use very often until a certain time when you do need it. The training of a carpenter is knowing what tool to use when and what to not use at the right time. Same as being a trader. Hey, same thing. Okay, perp, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, but I don't like the cyclicity. All right, I'm not real keen on that puppy. It's not really cutting the mustard, as I would say. Proof perp, let's hit that 12 straight in the face. Again, really lacking a strong higher low, conviction higher low there on purple on the daily. So that's kind of going to rule out that 12. What's the 8 saying to me? Ooh, the 8 looks pretty tasty. 16, moving averages in the right order. You little ripper. That is going in. Pundi or Pundix. Got there, nothing. Cutum, rolling over, but ain't too sweet there for me. Ray. Little ray of sunshine. Lovely 1 hour downtrend. Backed up by the 2. And what do we have with the 4? A lower high, lower low. I can't deny that. That's going in the list. Again, it does look like we're going to need to apply some of the P word. Patience. Apologies that this scan has gone quite some time. I hope you're getting a lot from this. It's just I'm having fun and there's a bit to talk about. Okay, so with Ren, on this 8 hour, if it pulls back into this cradle zone here, you can see that there's a nice trend there on the 8. You can see that there's a nice trend there on the 16. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going into my watch list. But Rue, not much to work with there. A reserve rights, just grinding, not much of a downtrend. Moving on. Rune had a belter. Look at that for a 37.91% day. You don't see that every day, but a good move. Nothing to work with. Sand, rolling over. A little lower highs. Let's go to the 1. Let's see what we got. Chuck, cyclicity issues. Not quite as smooth sailing as some of the others. On to the S's. No thanks for Sia. Seco. No thanks for Seco. Shit. I didn't say that. You did. Nah, not good enough. Excuse me. Scale. I can leave scale. Again, focus. Emphasis on the 4 hour trend. Big dip on Sol, but ain't not much to play with. Ain't not much to play with. Very good English, Craig. I'll have a quick sticky beak at Serum. First and foremost. Nope. That can go. All right. That's no significance at all. 4, 1. Nice trend. That's going in the list. Okay. Siren. Too thin. Moving on. STMX or Stormex. Moving on. Storage. No trend on the 4. No trend on the 4 there. Sushi. Don't mind if I do. Not a good enough trend there for me at this stage. And don't forget, this sort of scan that I'm doing, they get repeated throughout the day. They don't need to take as long as they do when I'm talking to you. Because I am talking to you, it means that I am taking longer because I am explaining what I am looking at and telling stupid dad jokes. Once you get the hang of this scanning stuff, it's what we do on live trading floor each day, you should be able to whip through these perp lists pretty quickly. Tomo, let's hit that on the 8. 16. You know, I'll save that for Ron. Chuck that in so I can have a quick check either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Back to the 4, we're looking for downtrends. Ain't got one there. Uniperp, a little bit there. Let's hit that 1. That 1 don't look too bad. What about the 30? Can't deny it, really. The trend is there, and I don't make the decisions. The market and my strategies do. So if I've got a trend, I've got to throw it in, right? I'll leave that one. V-chain is flat. Waves, 7%. Having a good little party there, Waves, isn't it? Nothing to work with, though. NEM coming off. Let's hit that 1. There'll be some cyclicity there. I like it. Pull back in. Give me a short. Perhaps I will take it. Excuse me. Stellar. Not much of a downtrend on that 4. Monero, just a big spike down. Have we hit that on the 8? Where are we? Ooh, we're in a sweet spot there. Look at that, will you? Yep, that's good on the 8. She's going to go thump into the old watch list. XRP, nothing for me. Tezos, no thank you. Not enough going on there for me. DeFi money, no. Yearn, sideways. Let's just do one thing there, actually. Hang on. If I was a short, I would be shorting that, and in which case I would already be filled. So therefore, it not good. Zcash, got to climb further than that. Zilliq is starting to stream off. Nice bit of selling. I don't like it enough. There's some other ones that are in this list already that look better. That's coming out of the list. It was in for the 8 earlier today, as was this one. It is no longer available to me because it has continued to sell off. Smooth love. We all love a bit of smooth love, don't we? Not good enough. Harmony, I can leave that. Sheba, has not got anything there on the 4. It's just that grinding effect. Mango, a little bit thin for me at the moment. Coin 98, very ugly looking chart. Spell, same thing. It's ugly. Alice, no 4-hour trend. Civic has definitely sold off. And Cello, nothing there. So what have we got here in our list? We have a mix of 1 hour time frames. Let's have a look. 1 hour trends, looking for cradles in the 1 hour on Alpha. On Balancer, waiting to see if we pull back. On Bat, waiting to see if we can move first, extend ourselves lower, then pull back. On Dodo, a pullback for a bearish candle. On Engine, I'd like to see it move a little bit further, then pull back. On ETH, maybe a little bit further, or perhaps just monitor how it goes on its pullback, looking decent. File, once again, lower high, lower low, give me a cradle somewhere in here. Lena, we've got a downtrend there. Looking again, I'd like to see it extend a bit further, then pull back in. On to PrivPert, we now move away from the 1 hour and jump to our 8. The trend is still there, a small bullish candle right there. Could give me the opportunity that I was hoping to get there. We'll have to wait and see much later on today. Back to the 1 hour, we have Ray. I'd like to see it extend a little bit and then a pullback in. That could be an option. Excuse me. Back to the 8, Ren. It's got to come back a bit deeper, but a little bullish candle in here on the 8 could definitely give us an opportunity for a trade. Serum, we jump back to our 1 hour and see a nice little lower high and lower low. A pullback for a 1 hour cradle could be very good indeed. Tomo, once again, we jump back out to our 8 hour. I'd like to see it coming a bit further. A little bullish candle, that could be the 8, could be the 16. I'd say the 8 because the 16 will be our backup time frame. On to the 1, we have Uniperp. Waiting for the pullback, something like that, but over here. Nem, something like that, but over here. Monero, let's jump back. Boom, boom. That could end up being something quite decent. Cometh 4 hours and 13 minutes. Guys, thank you for your time. Apologies, this would have been a long scan. There's been a lot more to speak of. As you can see, a very hefty looking list. Nothing for me to take action on right in this moment. However, lots of trends starting to point their noses out and therefore capture my attention. It's good to be back, I'll tell you that much. Good to be in good health again, I will tell you that for free. I hope you're well, I hope you're safe, and I hope you've already signed up to your FTX account. If not, get your FTX account, 10% off your trading fees below in the description. And also, if you go through my YouTube feed, you will find a number of videos on exactly how to raise orders on FTX to go both long and short. That will be a big help for you indeed to make sure you understand how to manage your risk and raise your orders correctly. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you want to learn more about what we do and how I go through these things, please visit TRADERCOBB.com and join the Become a Trader course, which is absolutely free. And yeah, share it with your mates if you like it. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you're safe and well. Bye for now.